Yo, peace was good. Welcome to another hip hop album review. This is part 244. I know it's been a while since I did an album review. I do apologize about that. I've just been so busy with work and making beats and things like that and doing other stuff, you know what I mean? And it's just life in general. But before I start, just want to say recipes to Hurricane G. That was, she was affiliated with Def Squad. At one point was Eric E Dubs, Green Eye Bandit, aka Eric Sherman, his mother of the child. I don't want to say the baby mama shit, like that's like mad ignorant. So the mother of the child of his child, um, at one point, you know what I'm saying? Recipes to her, recipes to Tame One of Artifacts, recipes to and what's crazy with Hurricane G and Tame One, they passed away the same day, which is kind of crazy. And recipes to Takeoff of Migos. Even though I'm not a fan of Migos, but nonetheless, recipes to him. You know what I mean? I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. For those that didn't, don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Hope you had a wonderful day. You know what I'm saying? So, but enough for the samba, and enough of the somber stuff. We're gonna be talking more light now and talk more about this album here. So the album that I want to talk about is Das Effects with Death Serious, released in 1992. For those who don't know who Das Effects are, they're a hip hop group. A lot of people like to coin them as a Brooklyn-based group. I guess, because a New York-based group, but realistically, uh, Crazy Dre's or Dre, he's right here. He's from Teaneck, New Jersey, and Scoob, which is books spelled backwards. He's from Crown Heights. All right. So how they got started? They got started back in the late '80s, '88. And they was going to a college in Virginia. I think it was like Virginia State University, and just kind of like they Scoop, he already had a kind of like a following in a sense where like he was like more developed. He had like a crew as far as like producers and things like that. Crazy Dre's like he didn't really have anything like that. But like case in point, they were like the nicest out of the whole school and things like that. And then they got together and things of that nature. Um, and how they developed their sound was because, like, to make it long story short, um, because them being in Virginia, they didn't really play New York hip hop, so they kind of had to like make up their own style to come up with the way they did the stuff they did, and they didn't want to emulate what was happening in New York. They kind of wanted to bring their own style, so that's why they had that. Like they'll say like they want to be like the gangster rap or the conscious rap, or this is like more braggadocio. Like for example, they'll say things like they say like yo I'm more gangster and whatever. They'll say like I have more nuts than Babe Ruth, that kind of thing. So they'll say stuff like that. So pretty cool. And then also what got them signed, was they actually made a song called "Clap Your Hands," which is actually on the album. Um, it was produced by a guy named Dex, who was like a local producer from Brooklyn and Crown Heights. And it was over the Blind Alley sample by the Emotions, which I fucking love that song. I love anybody that uses that sample. But yeah, anyways, so pretty much um, they entered the contest, and EPMD was entering the contest, and so they were in a club. Like fast forward, I think it was like 1990, 91, and there was a contest, and they pretty much was headlining that contest and things like that. So it was Das Effects versus another group. Don't know the name of the group, and the prize was like $100 or a record deal with EPMD. And then so, long story short, due to PMD's decision, the other group won, but they low key liked Das Effects better. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and then so like he got with them right after right after the contest, whatever. They spoke with them, that kind of thing. So they loved it. They performed the song "Clap Your Hands," and they loved it. It's like, yo, if you could make a couple more songs like that, then we'll get you a record deal. And then they started working on the album, and long and behold, this is how you got the album. Um, their original name was called Side Effects, but because of Scoob and Dre's, but it didn't make sense. So they just flipped it over to DOS Effects. So it'll be Dre's and Scoob, and effects being for the effects. So that's how they got the name DOS Effects. So I just threw it out there. Then eventually, they got with Hit Squad. Before Hit Squad was eventually PMD, and Eric Sermon got Def Squad, created Def Squad. With Keith Murray, Redman, and Jamal. Hit Squad being DOS Effects, PMD, K Solo, Top Quality at one point. People like that. So shout out to throw it out there. So let's get into the album. All right. So like I said, this is Crazy Dre's or Dre's, and we got School, book spelled backwards. That's what that one looks like. Pretty cool. You know. That's what the CD looks like. Purple CD right here. Pretty cool. All right. And then I'm pretty sure you guys seen this picture before. That's where they got it from. I like the coloring. That's pretty cool. It's like very colorful. And then the thank yous and the credits, album credits and things like that. All right. So pretty much the production is done by Solid Scheme. This is a hip hop duo. Rest in peace to Chris Charity. He died back in 2000, 2001. Back in the early 2000s, he passed away. Yeah, and then Clap Your Hands was produced by, like I said, Dex. And then there's one song that was produced by DOS Effects themselves, which was They Want Effects, which I'll get into that in a little bit. All right. So the singles of the album are there's 3 singles. The singles are They Want Effects, Mike Checker, and Straight from the Sewer. Those are the 3 singles of the album. All right. So let's get into the album. All right. First track, Mike Checker. To me, a dope way to start the album. Really enjoyed that. It's really dope way to start the album. Dope video too. That was actually the second single of the album. I like that. That was produced by Solid Scheme. I like the line by Scoop when he says, "I'm higgity hots the trots. I giggity got the mots. Jules plus dreads. So toots call me Goldilocks." I love that. Little fun fact too on that song. When you hear it, ooh wee, that was Redman. Redman actually did that ad lib. Just had to throw that out there. Shout out to Crazy Dre. He actually did an interview with Soren Baker. Shout out to Soren Baker. He's so fucking dope, man. He knows his shit. Besides him and Doggy Diamonds, those two to me are like the only ones like as far as like being hip hop historians and things like that actually ask questions that I would ask personally. You know what I'm saying? So I fucking love that. So he actually talks about that. I would have never known that. So I just had to throw that out there. And that ooh wee, that was actually on the third verse of Mike Checker. So I throw it out there. Track 2, Just a Man. One of my favorite tracks of the album. Love that song. To me, that should have been a single. I just love the the TV references like when they said Thundercats, Thundercats, Thundercats. Oh, I love that. Because like I used to watch Thundercats as a kid, so I love that. I like the line by Scoop when he said, "Yes, I make the ruckus, causing ruckus like Menudo or Judo. I kick it, I throws them like I gamble, and when I swings my thing, I take a swing like Mickey Mantle." Love that joint. So crazy story with that song. Shout out to Derek Lynch, the other half of Solid Scheme. He actually did an interview with Crazy Dre's because Crazy Dre's actually has uh, a podcast called the Producer Podcast. He hasn't really uploaded in a while, but he does pretty much he interviews producers and stuff like that. And he produced Derek Lynch of Solid Scheme, and he was saying that there was a sample like that guitar sample. The ding, 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 ding. He was saying that how I guess the original record they had, I think it got scratched up and like they couldn't like they tried like sampling into the they actually tried to sample it into the machine, the sampler, but it was so scratched up. Like they had to go and look for the record. So I guess like their manager, or whoever, actually went digging and found the record, and then that's how they got that sample. And little tidbit as well. Um, they actually used the EPS 16 Plus, the same keyboard sampler that I use to make my beats. For all the beats that you hear that they did, Solid Scheme was on the EPS 16 Plus, and I had to throw it out there, which kind of fucked me up. Like, wow, I would have never thought that. But yeah, Justin Man, dope song, love that joint. The Pete Rock remix, fire, love that joint. But yeah, Justin Man, track 2, dope shit right there. Track 3, um, They Want Effects. I believe that was the first single of the album. So the story with that was that there was a guy they actually got like a beat tape from this cat named Marcus, and so they just got the loop of the They Want Effects. It's like the James Brown sample. I believe it's from the Black Caesar sample soundtrack. Excuse me. Um, but they were saying like how the sample was too long. So what they did was they actually just got the sample, gave it to the engineer, and they just got like whatever parts that they wanted from the sample, and that's how you got it. They added the drums and things like that. So if you look at it, it'll say that it was produced by Das Effects. You know what I mean? And the only reason they did that was because they couldn't find this guy Marcus, so they couldn't really give him credit. You know what I'm saying? So which is kind of crazy, but like I said, they couldn't find where he was at, so they rearranged the sample, they added the drums, and then like I said, that's why it's produced by Das Effects. So that's the story with They Want Effects. So it'll say produced by Das Effects. So I just had to throw it out there. But dope song, classic song. It's a song that got me introduced to Das Effects back in like 92, 93. So and then, I just remember seeing two dudes with hoodies and dreads and things like that. So yeah, that shit was dope. Good times, man. Good times. I was young as hell. I was like 5 at that time, but yeah, it's how to throw it out there. Um, then we got track 4, Lucy's funny ass song. Um, so in a nutshell, it's just talking about them taking a shit in their pants. They poop shitting on themselves. Pretty fucking dope. Everybody could relate to that, and it's pretty cool that they could show the humorous side of them, because at that time in '92 it was all gangster. It was either super serious or super gangster, and you had like the more party shit, but at that time the more serious shit was like more. It was reigning supreme, like the gangster shit and the conscious stuff. Um, yeah, really funny. So pretty much, the first verse was Dre. He was trying to hook up with a girl, but then when he was about to get into it, he felt something. If you felt that funny feeling, and lo and behold, shit his pants, and he never got any action, unfortunately. And then, and then the second verse was with Scoob. He was playing ball with his boys and shit, and then when he was about to like dunk or do a layup, he felt like a funny feeling in his stomach, and then he just ran up to his apartment. But then by the time he got to his apartment, he left trails of shit all over the floor. So it was too late. So, oh man, so that's the song Lucy's. That's what it's about. So I thought that was pretty funny. Um, Track 5, Dum Dums. Not my favorite song of the album. I wasn't really too crazy about that. I didn't really care for that. Um, Same thing with track 6, East Coast. Wasn't really too fond of that song either. Then you got track 7, If Only. It's an okay track. It's a cool track, nothing too crazy. Um, Track 8, Brooklyn to Teaneck. Because like I mentioned before, School being from Crown Heights in Brooklyn, and and Crazy Dre being from Teaneck, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Dope track, one of my favorite tracks of the album. I like the line by Scoop when he said, "I glass my gritsum, I glass my gritsum, I shiggity shoots my jism, I giddy got more loot than your tooth, than the tooth got the wisdom. Believe that I crickety crack them skulls when I'm rowdy. I biggity bang boots and hang loose like Jim Browski." Love that shit right there. Um, that beat definitely sounds like something that could have been on What the Album by Redman. Which I do have to do a review on the album. I just gotta get a physical copy. I do have a physical copy. I just don't have the case. I do have the CD in the booklet, but not the case. So I definitely have to get my hands on that CD at some point. So definitely have to get that. But definitely something that could have been on the first album. But yeah, definitely one of my favorite tracks. Brooklyn T-Neck. Then track 9, Clap Your Hands, my favorite song of the album. Fucking love that. Love that song. Um, that's a song that got them signed with EPMD. And I just have to throw this out there. So when it says, I don't know if you see this, sorry the glare. It's executive produced EPMD for GMC Productions. So a lot of people got that misconstrued that EPMD did the production of the album. No, they were just signed to the production company, GMC Productions. Just had to throw that out there because there was like a big misconception about that, and they were part of Hit Squad at one point. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, Clap Your Hands, my favorite track. Like I said, song that got them signed to EPMD. Uses the Blind Alley sample. That was produced by a local producer named Dex from Brooklyn, from Scoob's neighborhood. Fucking killed that. Love that shit. Um, I like the line by Dre when he says, "But it's the cats that got snuffled, Mr. Red and his crew. So roll a spliff and rub a dub, then you make your beef stew." Love that. Scoop when he says, "Well, it's half a pass of cow's ass, and I'm real badass. Yeah, chitty bang, boom bang, who rang, abracadabra, Jiminy crickets. So set the wrist to my slang." Love that. Love that shit right there. To me, like I said, the best track of the album, in my personal opinion. And then you got track 10, Straight Out the Sewer. Dope song right there. That song has like so many remixes and things like that. It's not even funny. Man, overall, great album. Dope album. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a fun album. You know, it's just like when cats, knew how to have fun on this album. Nowadays, you don't really have music like this. People like poking fun of themselves. Everybody's, braggadocio, but they take it to next level. It's like almost like alpha male type of shit. It's like, okay, guys, like it's not even believable. Like, oh, I sold more bricks, or I fucked your girl, I fucked mad girls, and everybody's a cusky now. Everybody's a drug addict and shit. It's like everybody's sipping lean and taking fentanyl and all that nonsense and all that bullshit. You know what I mean? You didn't get this with this album. You got fun, poking fun in themselves, just trying to live life, man. And that's it. Just living like real life scenarios that me and you would go through at the time, man. And yeah, dope album. This album is out of print, but you get it for dirt cheap. But yeah, Das Effects, Dead Serious, released in 1982. Let me know what you guys think. I'll try to be consistent. I know I keep saying try to keep consistent with the reviews, but again, just been busy with with life and things like that. So and I do have more CDs collection to do. So definitely stay tuned for that. But once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know what you guys think. Alright, y'all be easy. Peace and be safe.